one key piece of equipment is the smoker. Almost all beekeepers will use a smoker. This helps to calm the bees and makes it easier for them to work with them. There are things that you can use instead, but we'll just go through the smoker. The smoker, they're all the same, pretty much the same. They have the bellows to pump air into the fire chamber, and then a spout to direct the smoke out, and then usually a guard round because it gets very hot inside so you don't burn. Other features can be a hook to hang it up and a finger hold to open it up. So what we do is, I'll just show you inside, is to extinguish it. There are several ways to do that. The best way is to put a cork in the end, or put some dry grass or some fresh grass in there, and that stops the air getting in and puts it out. And the advantage of doing that rather than just leaving it to burn out is that you have all this unburnt material, which is great for starting up the fire the next time. So what you usually do is put a bit of paper in first, and then you can either light the paper directly or the unburnt and it catches a lot more quickly. And then just give it a pump to get it going. And then get it really going, and then put in some material that you're going to use. I find sacking very good. And once you've got it nice and hot and going well, then put another little piece of sacking over the top. This way it will stop sparks coming out, and it will also cool off the smoke a bit, because you don't want it hot, because otherwise you will, if you burn, you can burn the bees' wings or injure the bees, and then that would kill them. So when you do it, the smoke needs to be cool. So you don't want it too hot. So once it's going well, that will now carry on for quite a while, and then all you have to do is, once it starts burning down and the top bit starts burning, then you can add that on top. So with this, there's choices of what you can use in there. Some people use paper, some people use cardboard, rolled up cardboard in there. I personally find my favourite thing is sacking, burlap Hessian sacks rather than the jute sacks. You get these from a coffee roaster or some of the upmarket coffee shops, or even trade meat. It's $1 or $2 each. So the best ones are the Hessian ones, and then the harder to burn ones are the jute. But what you do is you just leave them out in the garden for a while to rot, and it makes them a lot easier to burn. So these ones were out last summer. And then other things you can use besides paper is pine needles, which give a good smoke. So I find that pine needles underneath the top bit of sacking So then, when you're ready to do your bees, you just give a little squirt into the entrance and maybe underneath, and then give it a short time for it to start working and for them to smell the smoke, because the smoke will interrupt. They communicate with pheromones, so they won't be able to smell the pheromones, so it will confuse them, and also it calms them down. There is this theory that it goes back from they've evolved with forest fires. If they smell smoke, is to go in and start consuming honey so that they can take it with them before they abandon the hive. Because when you smoke them, they will go on to the frames and start to eat honey. So they'll be a lot calmer. So then, just open the edge up and give it another little squirt. And that way it gives a chance for them to smell the smoke. It goes through. And then when you take the top off, you give it a little squirt of smoke around. You don't have to give it too much. If you just do in the middle, what it'll do is it'll drive the bees outwards, which you don't want because it makes it harder to work the hive. So you would just give it around the outside, but also it's just for them to smell it. It's not a matter of just fogging them, and it's not tear gas where you're trying to just completely cover them over. Now, things that you should never, what you can do if it's going too strong is just lay it aside, and that tends to slow it down a bit. Never use any toxic materials like plastic or anything that would harm the bees. No plastics, no, don't use any accelerants like petrol or diesel or kerosene or anything like that. When lighting it, I always find that this is empty now, but I always find this is great because you can just turn it on and press a button and it comes out and it will light it straight away. Alternatively, you could use this propane torch, which is also very good. One of the advantages of having a blowtorch is that it helps so you can sterilise your hive tool between uses so that you don't risk transferring disease from one hive to another. And also it helps to clean the lid once it gets too clogged up. Now, you can get these from all the major suppliers, Seracel, Ecritech. They come in different sizes, small, medium, or there's a much larger ones you can get. Medium is more than adequate, or the small one.